Hello everyone, welcome to Chronicle Simplified. This video is about the definition of poetry. It is technical definition. Poetry has been famously defined by many writers including Lord Byron, S.T. Coleridge, Shelley, T.S. Eliot, Edgar Allan Poe and many more, but still it remains indefinable. So this presentation defines poetry technically. So what is poetry? It is an ancient form of literary art. It uses rhyme, rhythm, meter, figurative and sensually appealing language. Poem is typically arranged in stanzas and its purpose is to either express hidden emotions and feelings or to narrate the past heroic, historical or mythical stories. So based on their purpose, they are divided into various types. First one, poem is an ancient literary art form. So all the ancient civilizations have used poetry to tell their stories and record their myths and legends. The famous examples are Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the earliest poems in existence, and all our Indian Vedas like Ramayana and Mahabharata are written in poetic forms and often considered as the beginning of European literature. Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, the great Greek epics, are also in poetic form. Second, poem uses rhyme. Just as a song sounds pleasant because of its repeated melodies, rhyme makes a poem enjoyable to read and listen to. Rhyme happens when two or more words have the same ending. Let's take a very easy example. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. So in this rhyme, look at the ending words. They are sounding similar. So they make the rhyme scheme A, B, B. Poem uses rhythm. Rhythm refers to the pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables in a word, often made up of a repeating sequence of strong and weak beats or accent. So beat is made up of two syllables, one stressed, another one unstressed. They can be also in reverse order or there can be two or more stressed syllables. So in this example, twinkle, twinkle, little star, we have three beats and one syllable, that is strong syllable. So if a single syllable comes, it will not make a beat. So to make a beat, we need a stressed and unstressed syllable and their count can be more than two sometimes. Use of three sets of stressed syllables, stressed and unstressed syllables, make this line a trochoic trimeter and it ends with a strong syllable. So it has a masculine ending. If it ends with a unstressed syllable, we can call it feminine ending. Fourth one, poem uses meter. Meter provides a steady, predictable rhythm like a song with a fixed beat. To example, let's take William Shakespeare's line from Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So in this we have 5 sets of syllables. Shall I, two syllables, compare, two syllables, thee to, two syllables. Like this we have and one is stressed, another one is unstressed. So when unstressed syllable comes first and it is followed by a stressed syllable, it is iamb. As we are having 5 sets of syllables or 5 feet, it is penta. So it makes iambic pentameter. A poet chooses a meter based on the intended purpose, that is reflected by the mood and tone of the poem. If the mood or tone is conversational, the poet chooses iambic. If it is urgent, the poet chooses trochaic. If it is energetic, they may choose anapaestic. If it is melancholic, they will choose dactylic. If the tone is dramatic, they will use spondy. It is not here. Spondy, S-P-O-N-D-E, spondy. Next, poem use words that appeal to our senses. Poets choose words that help you imagine that you are actually seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, or touching something. For example, read these lines. To watch his woods fill up with snow. So when you hear this word, you automatically visualize the white snow accumulating. He gives his harness bells a shake. So when we read this line, we automatically hear the jingle of the bells. The faint warm scent of baking bread. So when we hear this scent of baking bread, we automatically smell the scent. And my lemonade was so sour. So the very word lemon makes us feel the taste of lemon. Easy wind and downy flake. So this line makes you feel the gentle movement of the wind and soft touch of the snowflakes. Poet use figurative language to create vivid imagery to engage the reader's imagination and senses. The most common types of figurative language that poets employ are simile, metaphor, personification, hyperbole, alliteration, and onomatopoeia. Simile and metaphor both create a stronger, more direct, and often more profound connection between two seemingly unrelated things. But simile uses the connecting words like us. But metaphor without those connecting words makes a direct comparison. Personification, that is attributing human qualities to inanimate objects like plants, animals, and abstract ideas. As in this word, the wind whispered, a gentle sigh brought me to my knees. These words attribute human qualities to the wind and the trees. Hyperbole. It is not meant to be taken literally, but rather to create a strong impression or evoke a particular feeling. So when you read, I could eat a horse, then chase down a tiger, it is not literally, but it is extreme exaggeration of the level of hunger one feels. Alliteration. Alliteration is repetition of initial consonant sounds in words that are close together. As in the example, silken sunlight softly shone, still sweet singing solely no. So here the S sound is repeated again and again, and it makes the poem sound more musical. Onomatopoeia. The old door gave a creak and groan as the drip drop rain hit the stone. So onomatopoeia is Use of words that imitate the natural sounds of what they describe, as in bus, ding dong, tick tock, like that. Poem uses measured lines, and those measured lines are grouped into stanzas. Stanzas group lines that usually share a common idea, image, or focus. Grouping like this help to create a natural break in the poem and to organize its thoughts and structure. Based on the number of lines a stanza has, it is named. So, if a stanza has 2 lines, it is called couplet. If it has 3 lines, it is tercet. If there are 4 lines, that is quatrain. If there are 6 lines, that is sestet. If there are 8 lines, that is called octave. And based on purpose. If the purpose of the poetry is to tell a fictional or non-fictional story, it is narrative or objective poetry. If the purpose is to share a personal experience, it is a lyric or subjective poetry. So based on the purpose, poetry is classified into 2 broad types, narrative and lyric. So narrative poetry includes epic, ballad, lay, idyll, dramatic monologue, metrical romance and limerick. And lyrical poetry includes lyric, sonnet, elegy, ode, epistle, ghazal, haiku. And this classification is not definite. They can often overlap and also their purpose can change. Often they serve a didactic purpose also. Now, how to differentiate narrative poetry and non-narrative or lyric poetry apart from the purpose? So, the primary purpose is either to tell story or express a deep felt emotion. What are the other characteristics? Let's see. So, narrative poetry. Its primary purpose is to tell a story that we have seen already. Secondly, its focus is on plot, character and setting. And it follows a sequence of events. And it answers what happened. And it has a narrator. And it is often uses third person perspective. Narrative poetry has a discernible plot with a beginning, middle and end. They use dialogues. They can be either very long or relatively short. And they may or may not rhyme or follow a strict meter. Characteristics of lyric poetry. As we have seen, the primary purpose is to express a deep felt emotion, feeling, thought or observation. Besides, they focus on speaker's internal state of mind. It answers how do the poet feel, what the poet experience and what is he reflecting upon. Often, lyric poems are written from first person point of view. Lyric poetry, unlike the narrative poetry, concentrates on a single moment, a reflection or a sustained feeling. It often sounds like a song because it originated from poems sung to the accompaniment of lyric, lyre. Contrary to narrative poetry, lyric poetry focuses on a single moment. It sounds like a song and uses highly descriptive language and vivid imagery to evoke mood and feeling. So, we have come to the end. Next, we will discuss the emergence of poetry and poetic forms in chronological order. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay awesome. Like this.